Joe Vega Survivor, the power of positivity. And today's show is going to be on ostomy. That's right, ostomy. As you know, or you may know, I am a double ostomate. I have two permanent ostomies. I have a permanent colostomy, and I have a permanent iliac conduit urostomy. So one for pee and one for poo, okay? Let's just get that out there. And when I talk to people, they often say, wow, your life is difficult, it's challenging. They come up with a lot of negative impressions of life as a double ostomate. I immediately say, and my response is always the same, double the pleasure, double the fun. That's how I look at it. That is my mindset. And folks, I always talk about mindset, a positive mindset. And this is where your positive mindset and the power of positivity really makes a difference. It's how we go forward in life. They're permanent. I can't get it reversed. I am forever going to have these two bad boys. So the option is either I can fight them and be miserable, or I can just live with them and accept them and go along with them and work with them as they work with me. And that's the route I've chosen. Okay? So life, as we all know, with or without an ostomy, life has its ups and downs. Life has its challenges. We know that. But having an ostomy doesn't have to be the end of everything. It's actually just the beginning of something very, very beautiful. I know that because I've lived it. I have traveled more since I've had my ostomies than I ever did before my ostomies. Isn't that crazy? Let me say that again. I have traveled and enjoyed life more with my ostomies than I did before them. Part of the reason why was before my ostomies was I had to stay very near a restroom. And so many of you understand that. I had to stay, and I wouldn't use a public restroom. So that meant I, on my own choosing, forced myself to stay near home. What type of life is that? Nah, it's terrible. We deserve so much more. And during this time of COVID-19, we're hearing a lot of people talking about the new normal. Well, us ostomates, we've been using that term, well, ever since we got our ostomies. That's something that most hospitals and medical centers will tell you. WOCNs, wound ostomy continent nurses, they will tell you that once you get an ostomy, it's your new normal. And it is, because we can't go running to the local CVS, the Walgreens, Thrifties, whatever drugstore you may have. We can't go running there for our ostomy supplies, can we? So it is a new normal. But it's livable. And it can be a fantastic, fabulous life. And in future episodes, I'm going to introduce you to some incredible people that have survived medical challenges that ended up getting them to become an ostomate, and then they've just excelled from there. There's a young man I know up in Washington State. He has been fighting Crohn's and colitis since he was a teenager. And this young man, who's now in his late 20s, early 30s, spent most of his teenage years in hospital because of the Crohn's and colitis. Finally, he got his ostomy. This young man, I'll be very excited to introduce you to him in a future episode. He has so much positivity. He has so much great energy. You'd be surprised. Because he doesn't let it slow him down. And there's so many others out there. So many others across this great country of ours. Personal friends of mine that live great, fabulous, wonderful lives. They travel, they've seen the world, they still work, they still get a lot of things done. And they probably do more now with their ostomies than they did prior to having their ostomy. Because whether they're fighting Crohn's or colitis, which is very challenging illness, or if it was cancer, or if they were born with a condition that forced them to eventually end up with an ostomy, I'm going to tell you, they don't let it slow them down. They are wonderful, inspirational people. And I'm going to introduce you to those great, wonderful people, especially this young man up in Washington State. I know that you will pick up on his energy as I have. Every time I talk to him, I've traveled with him, and he is just a great person. That's all I can tell you. Great, great guy. So I want to dive more into our mindset, the positive mindset that it takes for us to succeed with our ostomies. Our ostomies, we didn't get an ostomy, whether you have a colostomy, an ileostomy, you have a neobladder, a J pouch, or whatever it is that you may have, a urostomy, ileoconduit, whatever it is that you have, which is an ostomy or diversion for your bowel movements, they were not given to you, to us, to slow us down or to stop us from living. Quite the contrary. We had those surgeries, one, because they're obviously medically necessary, but two, I truly believe they were given to us so that we can again start living our lives. Maybe you've had these challenges for so many years, you have forgotten what living life really is about. So there's going to be a reintroduction period. I get it. I was there. When I first got my colostomy, believe it or not, for the first year, I didn't want to leave the house. I told David, my partner, no. I don't want to go somewhere. What if I get a blowout? What if the thing falls off? Blah, 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 blah. I made a bunch of excuses. Then I went to an ostomy support group meeting. And just like that, I saw the light. I realized that getting my colostomy wasn't the end, but in fact the beginning of a new, great, beautiful life. And folks, I want you to feel that way. I want you to realize that your colostomy, your ileostomy, your neobladder, your J pouch, whatever it is that you have, isn't there to stop you from living. It's there to help you and have a better quality of life. That's right, folks. That's what we got them for. That's what they are intended for. And that's what I want you to get in your mind. I want you to realize that they're not bad. We have bad days. So you have a blowout. A blowout's a blowout. I have them still. My colostomy, I've named the stoma Mr. Squeaky because at times he just chooses to mouth off. It's the damnedest of times. I'll be in a meeting and all of a sudden, there he goes, mouthing off, making noise. I know so many of you understand that. But I have fun with it, and that's what we have to do, is we have to find humor. We have to find joy, and that's it. Well, sometimes it can be embarrassing, but I figure, oh well. If anybody gets offended, tough on them. They just don't understand. I have no control. We have no control. Once you get a colostomy or an ileostomy, you don't have control of your gas. We don't. People don't understand that. A lot of times they don't understand that because they're too afraid to ask us. Or they're grossed out. They're like, ew. Well, forget you. Guess what? I used to say when I worked, I still was working for a major transportation company, major railroad. I used to tell my supervisor, I'm your best employee. I never have to stop and use the restroom. So it turned what some people would say be a negative into a positive. I could be sitting there as a conductor of my train, doing my paperwork, doing what it is the conductor does, and having a bowel movement, and not have to stop, not have to interfere with our workload. So I feel that's a positive, and I think you should too. I want us to understand that everybody understand that our life with an ostomy, it is challenging. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. But guess what, folks? Even if you didn't have an ostomy, you're still going to have bad days and good days, right? It happens. So let's just realize that, and then we can move on. Because the bad days aren't going to last very long. Laugh it off. Yeah, I get so frustrated sometimes when I have a blowout. Or here's an example. There's a saying in our community. Once you find a product that works, just keep it, don't change it. Well, I know that. But I changed medical centers. I started going somewhere else. And the ostomy nurse comes in and says, you're not, why, because I use two different products, two different companies. Squeaky, my colostomy, he gets Hollister. But Piss Pot, your ostomy, he gets Convatec. It's just the way it is. I use two-piece systems for each, and I like it. I've been doing that for years, both those products. Well, this ostomy nurse says, we use Coloplast, and you really should use Coloplast. They've got great products, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure they do. I've been to their facilities up in where the heck was I? I think I was up in Chicagoland area. Great people, great products, just didn't work for me. And that's okay. And I knew that. But I wanted to be a good patient, wanting to listen to the professional, allowed her to convince me to use a one-piece Coloplast with this crazy belt that has the two hooks. The ones that go like this. Well, a couple of problems. Number one, I have to cut my pouches to fit. So, in a one-piece, you got to be very careful how you cut, because the pouch, the bag, is connected. If you go too far, you're going to cut through the bag. Well, you already know what happened. Thank goodness she gave me 5 or 6 of these, because the first one got destroyed by the scissors. I put the scissors in too far. Okay, I tried it again because I'm a good sport. So I tried it, and it was for my for my urostomy for Piss Pot. And I just knew that I should have just kept with my Convatec two-piece. It works. I don't have any leaks. It just works for me. Okay? And again, when you find something that works for you, stick with it. Don't listen to anybody else. That's our secret, okay? If you find a product that works for you, you don't get leaks, you don't get blowouts, keep it. And just, if the nurse has tried to say, okay, I will, but don't do it. Okay? That's our little secret. Anyway, so I finally, on pouch number 2, bag number 2, I cut it correctly, I applied it, I put that crazy belt system with the 2 hooks on there. And I, like so many of us, my torso isn't the flattest. I don't have a perfect torso, believe it or not. I know that's a shock because of how gorgeous I am. But I have, I've got contour, I got this and that, and curves, and you name it, I got it. Which is very normal. Many of us have that. Well, wouldn't you know? We're sitting in the car, David's driving, we're coming back from a business trip to Sedona, Arizona. This was very recently. And I felt wet. And I looked down and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm peeing all over myself. I'm leaking. And folks, if you have an ileal conduit or urostomy, or even a colostomy, or a colostomy, or whatever it is that you may have, leaking, having a blowout, they're not fun. And who wants to pee on themselves? I'm 51 years old. The last thing I want is to be wet. I personally think it's disgusting, and I don't like it for myself. And I've lived years, a fabulous life, with my Convatec products without that happening. I had to examine what was going on so I understood the problem. What happened was that belt that I'm talking about with the two clips, and you know what I'm talking about. The Coloplast belt with the two clips. Well, what happened was the clip on one side of my body, the top one came out, so then it was only held by one. And on the other side of my body, the opposite clip came out. So that meant I was like this. These two were connected, these two were not. Therefore, it created some sort of a weakness, an opening, and ta-da! I had to sit in the car for about 3 hours. Yeah. Because I wasn't going to change on the road. That was a personal choice. Probably wouldn't do that again. I probably would tell David, pull over. But I was so tired. I wanted to get back. It was a long day. We're out in the middle of the Arizona desert, California desert, like 120 degrees. I didn't want to get out of the air-conditioned vehicle. So, lesson learned, right? Lesson is, when it works, don't change it, folks. Don't change it. So, that's just a little info for you. That if you're new to the ostomy community, by the way, welcome. And so try everything. Try all the different product lines, Hollister, Coloplast, Convatec. There's some other smaller companies and brands. Try them all. They will all send you free samples. Try them out. Usually a hospital, a medical system, a doctor's office, they will have supplies from one of the big three, maybe the big two, which is Hollister and Coloplast. And unfortunately, that I personally feel isn't of great service to the ostomate, because I truly feel you need to be able to try all the different products, see what works for you. Some of the flanges or the wafer are more pliable, they move better. I found that the Coloplast ones were very rigid. They didn't move, and I bend down a lot. They didn't bend with me. And what ends up happening? Well, that's when the belt pops off, that's when the leak happened, blah, blah, blah. Nasty. Who wants that? I didn't like it. So, again, lesson learned. Find something that works for you and stick with it. Now, I want to share with you two products. I'm not being paid. I'm not a paid sponsor. But these are products that I personally use that I had to go out and seek information on my own. And I order it. And they are Medicare reimbursable. Okay? And you can order them from Byram, Edge Park, from whomever you get your supplies from. And they're both really great products. The first product is made by a company called Trio. And it is this silicone. It's called Silken. It's stoma gel. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to put some on my finger. It is fabulous. You see that? That's what it is. You see, you can almost see me through it. This is a great product. I had redness, I had those little bumps all around my stomas on both sides, meaning for under both products, both of my ostomies, the skin irritation. What I do is take my shower, clean up, and before I apply remember I use 2-piece soap. First I apply the wafer or the flange, whatever it is you call it. I will put this around. We're going to say my stoma's right here. And what I do is I will encircle my stoma just like that with this great product. Mr. Stoma is right here. Let's say Squeaky is right there. I put this around Squeaky, and then I'll put my wafer on. This product, the redness, the itching that I was feeling, those little bumps, they're gone. I was shocked. And it hasn't been very long that I've been using this. This is fairly new to me product. So again, this is Trio Medical. You can get them in Florida. The supplier is in Florida. Google Trio Healthcare. Here is the bottle. Trio Healthcare. I 100% highly recommend this product, folks. They will send you samples. I happen to have bought, on my own, I bought a whole bunch of these. I think I bought 6 tubes, just so I had them. Because, you know, Medicare and their limitations and all this stuff. I bought them myself. I didn't pay that much, maybe $80, but I have them, and they are fabulous. So I highly recommend that product, okay? Again, Trio Medical, go to their website. They are available from a company in Florida. Very good company. I paid for it online. They shipped it to me right away. And again, I'm not a paid sponsor. They don't pay me for anything. I'm just doing this as a public service announcement to our community because I know the importance of that product and really the greatness. Also, it helps with the wafer, the flange, adhering to your skin. Okay? So it's really great, and it prevents leaks. Let's say you two have to cut to fit your flange or your wafer to fit around your stoma. And do we ever cut it exactly perfect? I know I don't. There's always a little bit space on either side or all the way around. Well, guess what? I put that silicone gel all around the stomas, and it touches the stomas. It doesn't bother the stomas. It doesn't burn. It's great. It's great. Okay? So, again, I strongly suggest you use that product if you are experiencing leaks, if you have redness, skin irritation, try that product. Most medical centers, hospitals don't have that. They don't spend the money on that type of a product, but I suggest you do. And again, it is Medicare reimbursable. Again, it is Medicare reimbursable. There's one other product, and then the show is over for today. This product was created by an Ostomate. Brock Master created this product. He was a Canadian young man. Ended up with a ostomy because of he was born with spinal bifida. And it is these Sure Seal rings. Again, you get these in Florida. I wrote up here because I did some research. And here they are. And what these do, now every manufacturer will tell you, oh, you can go in the water, you can take a shower with your product on, no worries. Well, that hasn't been the case for me. It seems like the water still loosens the wafer, the flange. I still try to dry it. I even went as far as getting a hair dryer, trying that. No bueno. So, I discovered this product some years back, Sure Seal rings. They come in different sizes. And again, I highly recommend it. So you peel this off, then you peel this other piece off, and you stick it around your flange, and it protects your flange or your wafer. Your pouch is coming through here. Your bag, your pouch is sticking through here. But this is protecting the flange. This is protecting the wafer, is what this is doing. Okay? That's what this is. So imagine here I had my bag or my bag or my pouch coming through here. This protects the wafer from water, from moisture. Let's say you do yoga. Let's say you exercise a lot and you sweat. Folks, you need this product. Okay? Again, Medicare reimbursable. You can get it through their company in St. Petersburg, Florida. There's a lot of great things going on in Florida for the ostomy community, besides so many fabulous support groups. And in a future episode, we're going to talk about that, because I know so many of them. And there's some very powerful, wonderful support group leaders in Florida, all parts of Florida. And I look forward to introducing you to some of those people whom I call my friends. So, Sure Seal rings, I highly recommend them. They are Medicare reimbursable. You can get them through Byram, Edge Park, whoever it is you get your medical supplies from, you can get this product. So, that's just my info, my helpful words to you. But we're going to end the show today, this episode, we're going to end it with an affirmation. An affirmation really tailored for us in the Ostomy community, but anybody that's facing challenges that really challenge our strength, challenge where we're going to go. Are we going to go any forward anymore? Are we just going to stay stagnant? I don't want you to do that. If you have an ostomy or a diversion of some sort, a J pouch, a neobladder, I want you to live life. I want you to enjoy life. You didn't go through all that you went through to sit back at home and be miserable. Now, right now, COVID-19, what can we do? Right? Well, I'll tell you one thing we could do is you could go right here on my YouTube channel and please click on the subscribe button. And please become a subscriber to my future episodes. I'm trying to get to a big number, trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, and I need your help. So that's one thing you could certainly do is subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. But besides that, we could start preparing ourselves mentally for future. This COVID-19, we're going to get past this, and we're going to be able to start traveling and enjoying life again, and I want you to do that. So today's affirmation that we're going to end on is very powerful. And the affirmation is, I can absolutely do anything I put my mind to. Let's say that again. I can absolutely do anything I put my mind to. Let's say it together. I can absolutely do anything I put my mind to. Folks, that's the truth. We are strong. Our minds are so strong. And the power of positivity is real. A powerful mindset will get us to the very darkest of days. And I want you to remember that, folks. Please remember that. And please become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. Pass this along. Tell your support groups. Tell everybody in the ostomy community that you know to come to YouTube and watch this episode. Until next time, folks, I bid you blessings of good health, peace, and a little bit of prosperity.